Welcome back to Save the Pumpkins podcast. I'm Amy,
This is Shane.
and we're here today to talk to you about Falling for Vermont, that stars Julie Gonzalo, Benjamin Ayres, and I'm also going to mention Lauren McNamara, Christopher Michael Cooper.
Christian Michael
Oh, I'm
Cooper.
sorry,
That's
Christian.
okay. Yeah.
Peter Benson and Barbara
Christian's
Kottmeyer.
gonna be really mad when he hears this. I'm not Christopher. Go ahead.
Christian's better anyway, so I apologize
Yeah,
for that.
probably so.
So this movie is about Julie Gonzalo, whose character is Angela Young, is a
Mhm.
writer, a popular writer
Mhm.
of several books.
Like a movie version of Divergent, or yeah, right?
Yeah, it's like a sci-fi.
Yeah, sci-fi deal.
hmm
She's a fresh writer, kind of.
And she's just wants to be the writer and is not up on all the hype that her books are
She doesn't
bringing
like the business.
in.
She doesn't like the
Right. She
business
doesn't
side of
like
it. She doesn't
the
want to do book
interviews.
tours, interview. Yeah, she's.
Yeah.
I just want to be. She at one point in the beginning, she says, "I just want to be behind my laptop. That's where I'm happy."
Right, and a
Yeah.
movie's coming,
Yep.
being made from the books, and so her boyfriend, Brad Thompson, who's played by Peter Benson, is her manager and boyfriend,
Yeah.
and
He's Aurora Tea Garden fame. He's the ex boyfriend, husband, whatever, in Aurora Tea Garden. It doesn't matter.
yeah,
Keep
so
going.
we've seen him before.
Yeah,
And Barbara
he's good.
Kottmeyer, whose character is Cynthia Young, who's her sister, and also helps out with collaborating and like
She's
her
her. She's
assistant.
her. Yeah, she's her
Yeah.
assistant, basically. Yep. Yep.
They're kind of like the secondary characters,
You don't see much of them. They
but
they, they
but
switch
they
back to them when yeah.
but they're put
We'll get
into
there.
these roles for a reason.
Yeah.
Just kind of like trying to bring her back into the life that she does not want to be
Doesn't
a
want to be
part
part of,
of.
right?
And so she says, I got to get away. And she sneaks out of an
Wait a minute. Yeah,
interview.
like say what she does. It's so weird. That almost is like if I had to stop, I was like, this doesn't make sense. She's about to be in an interview for her book on
hmm
like a morning show, like a fake morning show for the the movie, and she legitimately sneaks out, steals the sister's car,
hmm
and jets to Vermont.
Well, I don't think she really knows where she's going.
Well, she starts driving and
Um,
winds up into Vermont. Like I don't know how you
right. And gets
do that.
into a
But she
car
yeah
accident uh, and has amnesia
yeah
and meets up with Benjamin Ayres, who plays Dr. Jeff Collin.
Callan is it
Callan.
Callan? Yeah.
And he treats her for the amnesia, and
Yep.
he has two children, Emily and Alex.
hmm
And he is a widower.
Yeah.
And needless to say, she has no money. She doesn't know who she is. They come up with the name Elizabeth just to be able to, talk to her.
Yeah, he gives her a name. Yeah, I can't remember what name did he suggest at first. It was something like it's really strange. He treats her and then he says, "Okay, we'll take care of you. You'll get your memory back in a week or so because that's how long she was gonna stay to get away from."
Cheryl, he said,
Oh
how about
yeah,
we
she
call
says
you
that a lot.
Cheryl? And she's like, oh, I'm not
I'm not a
feeling that.
Cheryl. Yeah.
So she comes up with Elizabeth, and in not having any money and knowing where she is, he has a guest house. And so she stays at his guest house and becomes attached.
Like any doctor would let the patient stay at his guest house
Right. But
to yeah,
yeah,
no,
they all do
no.
that, honey. Don't you know that?
Yeah, they do. And well, this pretty lady that is his patient. It's so
And
you know.
Julie Gonzalo has been in other um, fall shows, movies that we like.
Yeah, she was in
Yeah.
the Pumpkin Pie Wars
hmm
thing. I don't think we've done that one yet.
No, we have not done that one
We'll get
yet.
there.
So I really
She's
enjoy
good.
watching her. Yeah,
She's a really good
she's really
actress. Yeah,
good.
she's good.
And Benjamin Ayres has
hmm
been in
She's
my favorite
you're
Christmas
yep
show, Holiday in Handcuffs.
for like
Um,
10 seconds.
yeah, but
Yeah,
he plays a really good
jerk.
character in
Yeah,
that
he's a
in
jerk.
that movie as well. So movie goes on and she becomes attached to the children. Lo and behold, the daughter Emily is also interested in becoming a writer, and so bits and pieces of her memory starts coming back in flashes, and come to find out that she's has a knack for helping Emily based on,
Yeah,
what her
yeah. Well, she's
profession
staying
is,
at the
even though she doesn't
house.
really know.
She gets
Um,
little things. It's kind of stretched out. She gets little things that remind her of who, little bits and pieces of her life. And the daughter wants to be a writer, like you said, and
mhm.
she kind of helps her out with it and figures it out. Yeah, go ahead.
And the dad, the doctor, gives her a little journal and
Mhm.
suggests, if anything comes up, any memories, anything, just write it down and then, just keep looking it over and maybe something will spark. So in doing that, she eventually comes to remember who she is, but in
Weird.
the meantime, in connecting with everybody, the dad has a canoe on his property,
Yeah, he does.
that's falling apart. That was his grandfather's.
Grandfather's, yeah.
And so she decides that she's going to help clean it up because a memory
They never
has.
explain why she knew about canoes.
No, they never did.
Like she
You
knows
thought
it.
you were going to find
She
that
goes,
she has
"Oh,
a
I
history
must
of.
know something about canoes because I know what kind of canoe this is." And you're like, "I don't. Why would you're a writer? You
Yeah,
never
that's
mentioned
that's
knowing about
honestly the
canoes."
the most, like,
It was puzzling. It
bizarre.
was really strange. I
Yeah.
mean, no, it's only in movies would a doctor take a patient home and put her up in this
Well,
boathouse.
but
So,
that little snafu doesn't have any impact on the show
no.
whatsoever. But she, with the assistance of the
She's
children,
good with the kids because we're
gets
setting
the
up the
canoe
romantic
back.
partner. She's got to be good with the kids because,
Yep, gets the canoe back in
yeah,
shape and surprises the dad, and that starts, the angle of the dad's going to start to reconnect with his children,
yeah,
and
because
just
of
very
her. Yeah, for
wholesome.
sure.
And the connection between her and the daughter is a nice one because they kind of share that writer bond, even though she doesn't really remember yet that she's a writer.
Yeah, she's giving her good writer advice because she's writing a play for the fall festival,
Hmm.
and she helps her, you know, c- come to recognize dreams and starts to realize that she might be, have something to do with that. Nobody in the town recognizes who she is, by the way. She must not be that famous.
Well, it's a small town. I wouldn't say that
Yeah,
she's
and they
not
do say
really
that
that
this is her
famous.
first big, not her first big book series, but she's about to hit big.
Right, and her picture
Um,
is not on the back of the book, so you can't really blame
no,
anybody for really knowing,
no, I guess not.
who she was, but you kind of think about
The
that,
daughter,
like,
the
in the
daughter
beginning.
who has read all the books and is crazy about them, never bothered to look her up to see what she looks like and wouldn't know her. I guess that was a little bit
Well,
weird, but whatever.
right. So,
Gotta let it
there's
go.
that, like, unrealistic theme,
Yeah,
with the
yeah,
movies.
sure.
But all in all, I thought that the idea behind the plot was very creative because we haven't seen anything like that
An
before.
amnesia plot. Yeah, no.
So,
I liked it. I think it's about the middle of the road for me. It's not one of the ones that I just really had a good time. Like we've talked about this before too. The Hallmark movies, they have their little plucky moments, little bloop 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 bloop, and then oh, are you gonna do that? Bloop bloop bloop. I told you I was. They do a little plucky scene, right? I make fun of it whenever we see it. This one doesn't have as many plucky moments. This one is played pretty straight romance. And that makes it like a little bit boring because they don't lean into heavy
right,
sentimentality,
it's
right?
very soft on that chemistry scale. Like, it's
Well, like
not.
what was the one we watched the other day that we'll talk about with the Lacey Chabert? That one doesn't do any plucky moments, but it leans heavy into the sentimental, sweet, that kind of thing. And this one doesn't really do either of those. It just kind of plays it very straight.
Mhm.
It's just the I'm not super crazy about Benjamin Ayres. Ayres, I guess is how you say it. I'm not as crazy about him. She's fantastic.
Oh
She's
yeah,
really good, and the
she
kids are good.
yeah.
The
It's very her it's very
her
natural, it seems
sisters,
like, for her.
yeah, it feels like it doesn't necessarily feels like she believes it or feel like she believes it. It feels like she's just being herself.
Right.
Like the I have no idea what this actress is. I mean, we've seen her in one other thing, and she acted kind of like she acts in this one, just like a normal person. I think sometimes the greatest thing these Hallmark actors and actresses do is act like themselves, provided the person that they are isn't you know isn't like some real eccentric crazy Hollywood person.
Well, what she's been in, A Cinderella Story and Christmas with the
She's been in
Cranks, and
movies.
so
Yep.
her
Yep.
face is very familiar, and she does very well in this.
She has a very Hollywood look. Like she has a look like how most Hollywood actresses have a very distinctive look. They don't necessarily look like a Barbie doll look. They have a very distinctive look, and she has a very, and it sounds like I'm being creepy. I don't mean to be creepy. She has it's just a very it looks like she should be in more films.
Yeah.
Honestly, what I mean by look is how she holds herself. Like the way you walk, the way you hold yourself is sometimes it was what separates you from being an actor or an actress
Yeah,
from.
she has a very big resume.
And but you know what I mean. She's got a presence. That's what I'm looking for.
Mm,
She's got a presence when she's on screen where you go, okay, I'm gonna watch this, right? Like an actress, like you go, okay, Meryl Streep's on the screen. I don't really care if I like this movie or not. She's got something to say. I'm gonna watch it. I don't mean to compare her to Meryl Streep. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like she's got a
Well,
presence.
so
Yeah.
in the end, the police officer finds the car. Um,
Yeah, the car they
they
found her,
connect
but
it
yeah,
with her sister,
yeah,
and here we are at the fall festival, and
sure.
she regains her memory, having walked in to the bookstore trying to find Emily, who has run away because she's very nervous about her play that's going to,
It's very sweet.
go on at the fall festival. And her memory comes back. And so she doesn't want to tell, the doctor slash dad right away. She wants to enjoy the festival. And
Lets
then,
you know right there, foreshadowing that we're about to have a good moment, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think then that little moment of them, sharing that time has brought them closer. She's trying to, you know, I think make peace with, am I going to go back? Do I like it here? Like, you see
She's
that
also
little
trying not to
inner
hurt the kids'
conflict.
feelings, yeah, because she's
Right.
grown close to them, yeah.
And then the sister and the boyfriend come and get her and take her back, and everybody's, sad, and she says goodbye. And then we jump a month later, and we're right back to the boyfriend, signing her up with interviews and going on shows. And she just was like, she never left, like it, and that's not her. And she found herself in that small town and misses it, and she goes back
Yeah, it's
and
it's
is going
it's
to
good.
continue her writing, breaks up with the boyfriend.
Yeah. Who they do my favorite thing in Hallmark movies. They do it in October Kiss, which I think we talked about. I know we talked about October Kiss, but I think we talked about that they yeah, I see it. That they they don't make the boyfriend or whoever it is a jerk.
Right,
Like he
right.
hears her and she says, "This isn't what I want." You know that I don't want to be here, and he goes, "I just want you to be happy."
Yeah.
And he's been a pushy, business manager up to that point, but he he just lets her go, right?
Hmm.
Like he's mature about it.
Hmm.
And I'm not saying that all people would do that, but I like it. It's pleasant and it gives way to a more enjoyable watching experience,
Yeah.
right?
And it's not a lovey-dovey movie. It just,
No,
it kind of gives you a little bit of the feels, but not like, overwhelming. So,
definitely not. I don't think that. I think, and some of that rests on the male lead's um, shoulders. I don't think he's very good.
yeah.
So
So, I mean, it's not one of my favorites, but it's not one of my least favorites either.
it's
So,
not. But there are enough good performances and enough believable things that you
it's a
should
good time.
watch it. Yeah, it's a good time. I would watch it. We'll watch it again probably.
Okay.
All right.
So, with that being said, we're going to close here and we'll see you again.
Well, we'll see you soon. Thanks so much.